Wait a second. I think part of it was because I exited out of the meeting. So it was having two going at the same time. So I deleted that. We seem good. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Much better. Okay. So. Wait a second. I think part of it was because I exited out of the meeting. Okay, hold on. So it was having two going at the same time. So I deleted that. We seem. Okay. We're good. So welcome everyone to our first full of fun technical difficulties of spiritual Sunday conversations. My name is Jennifer Kalsa-Schimmel, and with me I have this amazing badass goddess. And I will be posting, because for some reason YouTube didn't let me do it yet, but I will be posting all of her information below. So I'm going to let you, sexy lady, introduce yourself while I try to fix everything. And then we're going to get started.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me, Jennifer. My name is Yeside Davis, and I am an intimacy doula, which basically means that I work with women who are desiring to have improved spiritual health, because sexuality and spirituality are very, very closely connected, and sometimes we have a lot of barriers that stand between us and getting our bliss. And so that's what I do. I help women break down those barriers, normally having to do with religion. And I'm an erotic writer. And so, Jennifer, you've gotten a chance to preview some of my stuff. So that's always exciting. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, so I was explaining about this. And what we're going to do, guys, is this is a new series. Is part of the series is to explore, and bear with us as we're glitching. Mercury is doing fun stuff to our technology still, is exploring how we connect to spirit through our own unique ways. And I thought Getcho Bliss was a perfect way to start, because so many times, and I know I'm part of the Facebook group of the Getcho Bliss, and I noticed, and I know you talk about this, that so many times we rule out intimacy and our own sexuality as ways to connect to source and spirit. So I thought this was a perfect way to start. And I was curious how you get your bliss and that connects you closer to spirit. Take it away.
Okay, so yeah, I've I've always been a highly sexual person, which didn't work out very well when I was very into religion, because sexuality and spirituality are the same thing for me. I use my sexuality to help me manifest things that I desire in life through what is often known as sex magic, which is fun. We haven't dived into that in the group just yet, but that is something that I practice. I use my sexuality to help me make decisions, because my body knows what's the right move and what's not the right move. So I'm very highly in tune with my body. And so that's really how I do connect with spirit. I've had my chart read, and there's sexuality all over my chart in the 8th house and all in the houses that have to do with sex, and my Mars and all of that kind of yummy goodness. So I do use it to manifest. I use it to help me make decisions. I have a friend, and his philosophy is that business could benefit your orgasm. And so that is so true. Like, if I feel blocked in some kind of way, then hey, I probably need an orgasm. But my sexual practices as spiritual practices are so far beyond orgasm as well. And we are very orgasm driven in our culture, but the process of getting there, we need to pay attention to the process, enjoying the journey of getting there, being in touch with all your senses, the sensuality of sexuality. So I use all of that to connect with spirit. So yeah, I'm intimate with myself on a daily basis, and it's not just sexual.
I got stuck there. So I would love, let's see if it keeps glitching. I would love for you actually to talk more, um, because I think that's so powerful and that is so great that, this sex magic, or this, using the power of intimacy to manifest, right? Because that's a lot of energy.
Hmm.
And and I found from my personal experience, that there is difference, right? Between, oh, we probably should put this out there. Heads up, this is not for young viewers. Please, we will be talking about adult content if you didn't understand that. Um,
18 and over,
18
18 and
and over,
over.
please. But there's a difference, right, between just like when you actually are conscious about being intimate, like when you're conscious about actually channeling that energy when you have sex and when you are intimate in all those different ways. Like, I just find that, I mean, in my personal experience, it's different. It's different than like casual, which can be fun, but like there's power. There's a lot of power in that, and the amount of energy that you
Yeah,
can move. I would love for you to talk maybe a bit more about that, because I think
okay,
there's a
sure.
shame. There's a lot of shame in using that. Like, there's a feeling often that I run into of being like
Yeah,
dirty, or like that's not spiritual. And I'm like,
yeah,
so,
but it is
but
very
it is.
spiritual. So yeah, it is. I run into that same thing with clients that they have grown up thinking that a lot of things surrounding sex are dirty, and so they are dirty, especially if they're having sex outside of marriage or outside of the hetero norms, or if they're having sex through self pleasure, masturbation, right? So they all those kinds of things are dirty. And you are right that the energy behind sex is powerful. It really is, because it's creation energy. How do we create other human beings? Through sex. So it's a creation energy that we can also utilize outside of procreation, right? And so you're also correct in saying that just having the fun, which is, that's good too, is one thing. But when you get clear with your intentions, when you get into getting sexual pleasure with intention, it does shift the potency, so to speak, of the energy. So what I do is, when I know that there's something that I'm desiring to achieve, I set that intention. I get very, very clear on what it is that I want. And then I am solo most of the time. So you can't do sex magic by yourself. So what I do is, while I'm while I'm self pleasuring, I've already set the intention. I've thought about it, and then I'm focused on the process of pleasuring myself, right? And so that's what I'm thinking about, and how my body feels, and what's going on in my spirit, and all of that. And then at the point of orgasm, that's when I bring back my intention to my, and it does take practice, because some, you just lose all train of thought.
was gonna say, like,
when you
I've
feel the
I've
orgasm.
tried. I'm not gonna lie. There's been quite a handful of times where I'm like, we're gonna manifest, yo. We're gonna use this. I'm gonna bring in people, and I'm like, crap. I totally forgot my intention.
Yeah.
So do you use it too at that point, right? Do you find that afterwards you can say, now I bring all you back in to since while I wasn't thinking at the time.
Well, I totally believe that spirit knows my intention, but because I said it beforehand, and it really just takes practice, which is fun, right? There's fun in practicing this.
So
Um, so
every new moon now and every moon in between, you have to practice. Just have to
I mean,
practice.
you can practice whenever you want.
That's it. We're
I do,
manifesting
I
every
do
day.
it, I do it as needed. Like one example is last year I wanted to get a new car because the car that I had, I loved it. I really did, but it was still in both my name and my ex-husband's name. And so and the interest rate was really, really high on it. And so that's the reason that I wanted to get a car. It was like my last little thing to do, um, so that I could just have a car in my name, get a lower interest rate and all that. However, I also knew that I wanted a car. I had no money to put down, and I had a car. The car I was in was also upside down because of the high interest rate. So basically, I was needing a miracle, right? And so I set the intention. I was very specific, but still left room for some flexibility. I want a black on black car, preferably an SUV, and all these other little things. And I was very clear on that. And then I did the sex magic, and at the point where, because with me, I can feel like my orgasms don't catch me off guard. I can I can feel it when it's starting to rise up, that energy. And so for me, depending on the kind of orgasm that I'm having, it'll start in my left big toe. So I'll feel that energy in my left big toe first, and as it's rising up, that's when I take the time to bring my intention back. So that's when I brought my intention back concerning getting a new car. Um, and I thought about that until the point that I released the orgasm, and therefore for me it's like I envision like my intention coming up and out through my crown chakra, and then as the orgasm releases, then my intention releases through my crown chakra, and that's how I do it. And afterwards, I don't just I just lay there a minute to get myself together and to say thanks, and then I wait for the manifestation. So I did that a couple of nights to get my car, and then about a week later, I got a new car, black on black, lower interest rate, in my name only, no money down, because I had no money to put down last year at that
It's
time.
you proved
So
it
that's how
works.
sex magic works.
You proved it works.
Hmm.
So
It does, and you kind of have to learn how to hold on to the energy for a while for it to build up. Don't I let it rise up, and then I'll bring it back down, and then I'll let it rise up again until I feel like I'm at the point of, okay, I'm ready to go ahead and release this energy and this intention.
so and especially since I know this is
And that takes practice too.
yeah, it does. So this is one of the areas too that you work with, especially women on,
Hmm.
is that what do you suggest is a good first step for the the shame that so many connect with just their bodies and being sexual beings in this day and age? Like, what do you recommend for those who are interested and starting to explore this aspect of their spirituality, you know, but have been so programmed that it's shameful, dirty, not okay, don't, you can't touch yourself. It has to do this. You have to do
Hmm.
just to have babies, all of the beliefs. that so many people
Mm-hmm.
hold?
Um, I always, when I get new clients and they are struggling with all of that, they are, they can be married and they feel dirty if they want to please themselves, or they feel dirty if they do certain positions, even though they're married, or they um, are in relationships, but they feel dirty because they're having sex and they're not married, and or they're single, self pleasure or desire to self pleasure, but they feel guilty and dirty. So I've encountered all of those um, types of women. I've been there myself. And let me say that when I speak of religion, I'm mainly speaking of Pentecostal, Church of God in Christ denominations of Christianity. So that's my background, very strict. So what I advise people to do first is to work, allow me to work with them to discover their true beliefs. Because sometimes, a lot of times, especially when we're raised in a certain religion or denomination, we take on those beliefs and teachings that are given to us as our own. So that's the first thing we do. We sit down wherever they're feeling guilty. So like for fornication, for example. Okay, so as a Christian, you're taught that that is wrong. So do you really believe that? Like, is that your belief, or are you just saying you believe because it's what you were taught? Because sometimes people don't know the difference. They don't know that there's a difference between them believing what they believe because they were just taught that way versus how they really feel deep within themselves. And I'll use myself for example. Even before I ever had sex, I was never of the mindset to wait until marriage. And this was me, when I was still a virgin. I always believed in waiting until it's right for both people, and I've always been that way. But when I got saved, so to speak, if you want to be saved, you can't fornicate. And so that was hard for me because I just didn't believe that way, but I tried to take that on as my own belief, if that makes sense. So I just got more and more into, religion, and I had to do the same steps that I tell everybody else to do. Decipher what you truly believe versus what you were taught. If what you believe is different than what you were taught, then we can go to the next step. Well, how does this make you feel? Do you feel bad for believing something that contradicts what you were taught? And it's a process, but we start there, deciphering beliefs.
I love that. That's perfect. And that always, I mean, that's where I start with all my clients too, because it is right. Your beliefs, you know, we have to so much comb through, what we were told and what we were taught, and then what we
Hmm.
actually hold as our,
Hmm.
truths. And there's no wrong as long as it's your truth, right? Like it really is yours and not what somebody else has
Hmm.
taught you or something like that, right? We're not saying everybody, if whether or not you feel
Right.
comfortable, should go have
Right.
sex with everybody. We're saying that connect to that truth, and that's powerful. I love that. So awesome. Now, I'm like, my
Hmm.
husband's gonna be so excited. I'm like, I want to try this now.
Really?
Ready. I'm ready to. I got manifesting. I got big goals here, and I need your help, honey. Oh no, I don't need your help.
Yeah,
But if you would like to join me, so
yeah, being with a partner who understands and can connect with you in manifesting together through sex magic, girl, creme de la creme. I mean, you can do it without your partner knowing, but if you can have a partner who does know that y'all are working towards something, that just the combined energy is amazing. I had a partner, and he didn't he didn't know that I was trying to manifest anything because it wasn't planned. I was like, oh, I'm going to get to see him today. Well, I'm going to manifest something. Because whenever I'm with him, it's fireworks anyway. And listen, I was focused, I had my intention set. And while we were, connecting our spirits through sex, focus on, him and all that kind of stuff. But when it was time for the release, listen, it, girl, it was like we were in a glitter cloud. It's like we were lifted up, and this was just with me having set the intention, but the way he feels about me, I just drew from that. So he didn't know that I was working on manifesting something. I just drew from how I know he feels about me in the energy, and it was a glitter cloud. That's all I could say, and we were very light, and it. Listen, I just. Now, had he known what I was doing, and if he was as focused as I was, girl, I may have still been laying in the bed trying to get myself together. So having a partner is great. Having a partner who's also actively participating in the manifestation, even better.
I love that. That's it. Glitter clouds for all. Glitter clouds for all. So we're kind of getting to the
It was a
end.
glitter cloud,
At the glitter cloud. Are there anything else that you it's gonna be the theme. That's it. That's the theme now. Glitter clouds for all loves. Um, is there anything else that you personally find that any other things that are coming up that you want to share about you in spirit? Because I know you and you are a pretty powerhouse woman and
You're breaking
everything.
up just a little bit.
Of
Is there
course I
anything else that I find? And then you kind of broke up.
can. Anything else you want to share?
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry, you were breaking up. I don't know what you said.
Hold on.
Whatever you ask me if I want to share, I'll share it. I just don't know what it is because I couldn't hear you.
Anything.
Okay, is
Anything.
there anything else I want to share? Yeah, totally. So I want to share for anyone who feels that whether it was your upbringing or your religious upbringing, that you feel is hindering you from getting your bliss, it's not impossible to break those barriers. It's okay if you leave those beliefs behind that no longer serve you because you have grown, evolved as a person. So, of course, your beliefs have grown and evolved along with you. So, don't let that hold you back from being who you are feeling that you need to, that you're being pushed toward, the person you're being pushed to be. Um, it's just not impossible, totally doable, ready to do the work and get your bliss, then I'm here to assist you with that. I specialize in working with women with those religious barriers specifically because I grew up in a strict denomination. Um, I don't ever direct anybody to abandon Christianity or abandon the God that they believe in. I just help them realize that they can have God the way, still have that relationship with God and still be themselves and who they're becoming.
I love it.
That's
I
it.
love it. Beautiful. So we are going to wrap up. This has been wonderful. I am so glad that you joined me
Yeah.
today. And this was so much fun. I love that this was our first episode. So if anyone is interested in learning more about getting your bliss or get your bliss, as it is so wonderfully said, all the information is down below where you can find Get Your Bliss all over the beautiful wide web. And of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel, guys, so you can catch all these conversations. We are off next week, but we will be back the following week and every other Sunday with exciting guests. And I love you guys all. Thank you for joining us today. We had so much fun. And if you have questions, make sure to leave them in the comments and we'll get back to you. And we hope you enjoyed our Spiritual Sunday conversations. Thanks,